Hey guys, Mr. 3D Hero here. In today's video for my Loadout series, I'm going to be focusing on a particular loadout that was used in TitanFall 1, and this particular loadout was called the Assassin build. So sit back, relax, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So, the Assassin loadout. This loadout is designed for getting behind enemy lines, taking out Titans, pilots, AIs, the like, as quickly as possible, as quiet as possible, and staying undercover as possible. So I'm going to be taking that loadout now from Titanfall 1 and bringing it into Titanfall 2, and this is what I have. It's nice, it's efficient, but there are some downsides to it, but we'll go into that later on when we're talking about the gameplay side of it. So let's go into the actual loadout of the Assassin build. So the class we're going to be using is Cloak to allow us to always stay cloaked. Our primary weapon is going to be the Sidewinder, or the SMR, great for taking out or taking on Titans, or taking on pilots as well, but just remember that when it comes down to actually aiming the weapon, you don't have a lot of aim assist, so it's kind of, you're either lucky or not, and going up against pilots with the main weapon is 50-50 as well. Our secondary weapon could be RE45 Auto, great weapon, it takes out AI and pilots really quickly, it's quite deadly. When silenced, it allows you to stay off the minimap, so you can always be on the go without being in fear of a player from the enemy team actually spotting you and noticing you. Because with the silencer attachment attached to the weapon, it makes you even more of a danger. But one thing you've got to remember when using the weapon is that it's quite weak. It loses damage when it has silencer onto it. So it's really up to you how you want to play around with the weapon. I recommend that you add silencer to it. And if you want to be more deadly against pilots and AI, try and aim for the head as much as possible. The more headshots you can land, the more quicker the person or the player or AI will drop, and the more quicker you'll be able to get your boost and get out of the situation. Or better off, try and get a jump on them. It always works. Anything helps really when you're using this loadout. Titan's going to be Ronin. Ronin allows us to get in and out of situations as quickly as possible, cause as much damage, take out pilots and AI within a short amount of time, like I'm talking about one swipe of the sword, and say you're in a situation where it doesn't really play out within your favour, you can always use nuke ejection. Although nuke ejection is kind of cheap and cheesy compared to some people, it's also quite easy to get out of, and it's also quite beneficial as it can take out people within the area, so you wouldn't always have to worry about when you, say for example, eject from your Titan, you're in a situation where a player or a enemy player sees you on the ground, and then by the time you drop back down, they can finish you off. Using nuclear ejection causes panic, and causing panic allows you to use it as an escape, in a sense. That's kind of how I think about it when I'm using the nuke ejection. But you can always change it for something else if that's the case. Our pilot kit is going to be Power Cell. Power Cell allows us to quickly recharge our main class ability, and our secondary pilot kit is going to be low profile. Now low profile basically allows us to jump on the Titan's back without them noticing, and it also allows our jetpack trails to also not be so noticeable. So in general, when you're jumping up and down, no jetpack trail will be appearing, and this really does fit in for the Assassin loadout and build because no one will know where you are. So you can pretty much, if you're getting shot at by someone or getting chased, you can pretty much go into a building, hide in a specific corner, and go invisible, and a player when they enter will not know that you're there, allowing you for the ultimate assassination. Our ordnance is going to stay true to Titanfall 1 loadout, and we're going to use grenades. Now grenades is great for clearing out areas. If you're playing Bounty Hunter, it's one of the best type of ordnance to use. Or you can use Gravity Star, but I would generally recommend that you use grenades, and when you're cooking it, it does quite a bit of damage in areas that are clustered with pilots that tend to, for example, gather around. If you're playing Bounty Hunter on Crash Site, for example, this one weapon or this one ordnance, for example, could be the true weapon to causing a lot of panic and causing you to be the first person on your team to get your Titan or your boost up as quickly as possible. Now our boost we're going to be using is amped. Now the main problem we have here is that for me to stay true to our actual loadout, I would be using Smart Pistol, but Smart Pistol isn't a main primary weapon for the game anymore. You can use it, but it has to be used as a boost. And that's mainly because a lot of problems that happened in Titanfall 1, where the weapon was too good in Titanfall 1. It allowed you to get quick amount of kills as quickly as possible, and in general it didn't take a lot of skill. All you had to do is make sure that you aimed and your weapon would do the rest for you. Now Respawn's way of changing it is to make it a boost, and I would use it in this gameplay, but the problem with me using it in this gameplay is that once activated and used up, it takes away my secondary. Now as I stated, my secondary is the RE45 auto. So if for example I had that weapon amped and I lost it because I used Smart Pistol, I'll only then be left with my SMR, and my SMR can only do so much against pilot. So in this situation it's 50-50. For you players, you can decide on whether you like to use Smart Pistol or not. I'm not going to judge, there's no one to judge really. It's a good weapon, it's still effective and such, but I decided to not use Smart Pistol, and I'll probably make a version 2 of this actually use a Smart Pistol just to show you how effective it can be and how much of a disaster the weapon can also be. But in this case I'm going to be using Amped. Amped basically allows me to make my shots even more deadly. So my Sidewinder and my RE45 auto silence are going to become even more dangerous. This is basically going to allow me to drop players, AIs, whatever as quickly as possible, get into my Titan, get my boost and such, and I won't have to worry about losing damage or feeling weak, because I'm always going to have a power up in case such situation occurs. Oh, and also make sure that your camo is all black to keep to the Assassain type feel, and make sure your character is female, even though using the cloak class doesn't really make much of a difference, sadly enough. So now let's go into the actual gameplay and actual loadout of how effective it can be. Now in the gameplay wise, you can see that I have to play it kind of in a particular way. You don't want to be aiming for top best, you want to be aiming for top of the leaderboard. What you want to be aiming for is taking out as much AI and pilots as possible, but without them actually knowing. So it's going to require you to flank a lot in the game. So you need to be aware of where AI is going to be spawning, where pilots are going to be spawning, and what's the best route to actually take them out. Now using your RE45 auto silence is going to be your top tier weapon. Like I mentioned before, when you actually get into encounters with AI or pilots, aim for the head. Aim for the head allows you to drop pilots as quickly as possible, and also if you want to add attachment onto it, maybe add gun run onto it to allow you to hip fire the weapon. And by hip firing the weapon, it does feel quite good. I could recommend that it feels kind of like the car in a sense, but smaller and a bit weaker. But if you add that plus amped plus hip fire the weapon, it feels like a car on drugs. It's pretty powerful and it's quite deadly. What you also want to do is to try and stay away from your own teammates as much as possible. Don't go into areas that are too crowded. If you are going to enter areas that are too crowded, try and take the long route. So you want to go behind enemy lines without them actually noticing, and try to use your cloak as much as possible. When you see Titans nearby, or Titans that spawn, jump onto their back and take their battery out as quickly as possible, but only do it if you know you're in a situation where you can put it off. If not, then use your SMR. Now your SMR is going to be the weapon that's going to help you with fighting back against Titans and a lot. It does a good amount of damage, and it also helps with boosting up your Titan meter and your boost meter. In this case, you want to do this as quickly and as much as possible, so that you can drop into your Titan, get into the action, and cause as much damage and just help out your teammates as quickly as possible. If you do drop into your Titan, try and focus on taking out the AI as quickly as possible, as shown in the gameplay. If not, and there's Titans nearby, try and get them out of the situation. By killing them and getting them out, you can then focus on gathering points, and the more points that go to your team's main score, the more quicker your team will win. Now sometimes you may be able to top the leaderboard just playing this kind of playstyle, but this loadout is not designed for topping the leaderboard. Luckily though, for this gameplay I did actually top the leaderboard using this, but like I said, it's not always designed for topping leaderboards. It's more designed for helping your team out as much as possible. So if you can do that with this loadout, not only are you going to be a major support, you're also going to learn a few things about the particular weapons and particular loadouts, how to use it. RE45 isn't a common weapon I see a lot of people use. It's like one in a blue moon for me. But when I see players actually using it, they're actually learning it. They're actually learning how to use something different for once. Instead of using a card RC 201 and then using the Sidewinder or SMR, that's a weapon that a lot of people tend to avoid because it's not an easy weapon to use, and using it as a main primary isn't. It takes quite a while to actually understand. But if you can learn how to use these two particular weapon in unison, you're gonna actually become a much better player in Titanfall 2. Because when situations come where you don't want to be using a particular weapon or loadout, you'll have the knowledge to actually go about and use whatever weapon on the battlefield you can. Because you played around with them and you use a particular loadout that is fun. So in general, this loadout is one of the most, I'll probably say one of the most funnest builds that I could actually generally think of. It's fun. If you can be sweaty with it, or you can just be laid back with it. Because at the end of the day, you're still contributing to your team. And in total, I'll probably give this build like a 9 out of 10. It's good, it's fun. I wouldn't say it's something that for new players. New players will need something that's a bit more easier to understand. And I do have a loadout that is more designed for new players in a sense. But for a loadout that is designed for gathering points and helping out your teammates, this is one of the many that I could recommend. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If there's anything that you'd like me to do, then mention it in the comment section. I'll make sure I get straight to it. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like for more. If you didn't, then leave a dislike. And also share as well. And subscribe if you also enjoyed. But, you know, if you didn't, then just please make a comment in the comment section. So thank you for watching, and I do hope to see you again soon.